welcome to class. Let's have our block where our head will be. We're going to start on our backs then. So just bring yourselves down gently in your own, kind of way. And then have the legs so they're comfortable. So you could have a butterfly, you could have the feet wide and drop the thighs in, or just have them, regularly, wherever you wish. Bring the arms down beside the body and close the eyes. And let's just do a check-in. So let's initially be aware of our jaw. We can hold a lot of tension in our jaw. Just be aware maybe of the tongue. Does it feel it's on the roof of the mouth or the bottom of the mouth? And relax that jaw. You've got the hinges, the teeth, that whole area. Just see if you can get it to soften. When the jaw is tight, it can bring tightness into the neck and also into the shoulders. Just feel as though each one of your out breaths is softening and melting this whole space. We often don't realize how much we're holding it until we tune into it. I'd like you to turn your head from side to side and just check in with the stiffness in the neck, just noting any restriction where the head stops because the neck won't allow it to go any further round. Just a few times. Bring the head back to center. So if this feels okay for your shoulders, interlace your fingers and bring them behind the head, sort of between the head and the neck so they feel comfy, elbows onto the floor. If they don't reach the floor, then just prop them with some cushions or the blocks. And then you're going to open your eyes. Keep the head still as you take the eyes and look towards your left elbow. Just straight across on the horizon, look at your left elbow. You're stretching out the eye muscles. So much of the tension in our body, especially the upper body, comes in through the eyes. We get tense by what we see, what we read, what we experience through the eyes. So keep looking towards that left elbow. And then bring the eyes back. Little blink of the eyes. And let's take the eyes to the right elbow, just the eyes. Looking around to that right elbow. Okay, bring the eyes back, release the arms, just bring them down beside your body. Now turn that head again a few times and see if there's a bit more movement, if the tightness has subsided. You can also do this one seated. Lovely. So hopefully that started the process of freeing off through the neck. Now we're going to come to the shoulders. So wherever your legs are, bring them into this position. So the knees are up towards the ceiling and the feet are sort of hip width apart. I want you to imagine that you've got 2 church bell ropes coming down from the ceiling and that you're going to be pulling on them and letting them go. So bring both arms up towards those ropes, but you want the shoulder blade still in the floor. So there's no overstretch here yet, okay? So we're going to stretch out these shoulders and balance them. So you're going to reach up with your left arm, grab the rope, pull it all the way down, and then let it go. You do the same with the right side. So you're going to stretch up, grab the rope, pull it down, and then let it go. Back to the left, you're going to stretch up, grab the rope, pull it down, and let it go. Same with the right, stretch up, hold the rope, pull it down, and let go. One more each side. Left, stretch, hold, pull it down, and then release. And the right side, stretch up, hold, drag it down, and then release. Right, the next round is you're just going to concentrate on grabbing the rope. Just going to grab the rope. Everything else happens automatically. So lift the left arm and grab the rope. You're going to hold that there this time, okay? And now you're going to take the right arm, lift that up and grab the rope. You're going to take the left arm and you're going to grab the rope again. Disregard what the other arm is doing. And then stretch the right arm up to grab the rope again. One more round, you're going to grab the left arm, grab the rope. And then the right arm, grab the rope. Fabulous. Now release the ropes, bring the arms back down. This time when we grab the rope, we're going to lift the hip that's the same side as the shoulder and push the foot into the floor. All right, so let's go left. So we're going to stretch up, bring the left hip off the floor, push into the floor with that left foot, grab the rope, pull it all the way down and everything comes back to the floor. Rest that shoulder blade right into the floor, release the rope. Let's do the right side, stretch up. So this time the whole shoulder comes off the floor, take the buttock off the floor, push into the floor with that right foot, grab the rope, pull it down. Everything comes back down to the floor, including that shoulder blade, and let the rope go. So left side, lift up, all the way up. Take the hip off the floor, grab the rope, throw it down. Everything comes down, release the rope. Right side, up we go. Get that shoulder off the floor, buttock off the floor, grab the rope, down we go. Right, one more round, okay, left side, lift off, stretch, stretch, stretch. Grab the rope, pull it down. Shoulder blade into the floor, release the rope. Last one, nice right stretch, as far as you can get. Grab the rope, bring it down, and then release the rope. Fabulous, relax the arms, see how the shoulders feel. That's quite deep work through those shoulders for that. Okay, so bring the legs into a butterfly. We're going to work into our Kapalabhati breath at this point. And we've been working in that to release the anxiety that can be a part of this fire element, the summer season. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 rounds of 15, and then we're going to carry on for a minute. So I've got my clock, and whatever you do, stop and start when it feels right. You know, just see how long you can keep going and then take an ordinary breath and come back into it. All right, we're just trying to build up that practice, and it's really strengthening for your core. So the Kapalabhati breath is where we take the breath in naturally, and the out breath, we snap it out through the nostrils and snap the belly in. And then the in-breath comes automatically. So if you want to close your eyes to do this, I prefer to. So taking a breath in, push the belly away. Count 15. Come to a stop and take a breath. Just relax. Let's go for another 15. Take a breath in. And relax. So it's always your own speed. Okay, so I'm going to let us go for a whole minute. So take a breath in and off you go. Stop when you need to and start again. Ten seconds left. And come to a stop. Well done. Take that breath back to normal. And experience what has shifted doing the Kapalabhati breath. Okay, opening the eyes, bring those knees back together, straighten off that right leg, bring the arms maybe a little bit further away from the body. We're going to work and do these hips now, we've woken them up. So we're going to do our circular movement with this left hip. So we're going to take, the left leg. We're going to take this left knee over to the right into a start of a twist, so be careful, I haven't done twisting yet. Then you're going to push that knee up towards your right arm, towards the head, towards the left arm, into a half butterfly, and then foot to the floor, knee to the ceiling. We're going to do 3. So coming across your body, making the knee into as big a circle as you can. And that in turn will work into that left hip joint. So 3 altogether. Stay with the same leg. I'm going to go 3 in the other direction. So out into a half butterfly. Push the knee towards the left arm, towards the head, towards the right arm. Come across the body into that twist. Foot to the floor, knee to the ceiling. All right, so 2 more in your own time. It's all about working into that hip. Fabulous. When you're finished, we're going to switch legs. So bend the right knee, straighten the left leg out. And let's go to the other side. So mind the first twist. Take that leg over to the left. Up towards the left arm, towards the head, towards the right arm. And your half butterfly. Foot to the floor, knee to the ceiling. Off you go. Count yourself through 3. Massive circle. And in the other direction. Half butterfly and then come all the way across and ending up in that twist. And when you're completely finished, bending both knees. You're going to give these knees a hug, so either behind the thighs or shins. Good hugging. Just stretching through that lower back a little bit. So grabbing your block, feet to the floor, and bring that block underneath your tailbone. So we're going to come into an assisted happy baby. Okay, so one knee up at a time. Take the knees lovely and wide. And today we're going to hold on to the big toes. So bring the first two fingers in between the big toes and the next one, and grab hold of that big toe. If the hands don't get there, then obviously hold your ankles or the lower legs, or just chill out without your arms. So I want to feel as though the soles of the feet are directed towards the ceiling. The knees are coming outwards of your shoulders, and that you can feel a little nip in your hip creases. And then while you're here, if you want to massage your big toes, we've got a few meridians that run through here. And the outside of the big toe is also to do with your spine, I believe, and reflexology. So maybe just running your thumbs up and down there or massaging in. It's interesting because sometimes you can just feel little tinges in or twinges in other parts of your body as you massage around these areas, which I find fascinating. It's just releasing a little bit of energy. If you find a tender spot, then maybe stay there and release a little bit more energy. Wonderful. So releasing the fingers and giving them a bit of a flick. Bring the arms down onto your mat and then take the heels upwards, straighten out those legs. Let's take the legs out to either side. We've worked deep into the hips already, so maybe, just maybe, they'll go a little bit further than normal. So we're going to bring the legs back in and we're going to wrap the left leg around the right, like we do the eagle leg. So we're going to bend the knees and see if that left foot will hook around the right or side by side. And then once we're here, we're going to tuck in again. So we're going to bring the hands wherever we can get them and tuck them in towards our upper body. Now I'd like you to bring your breath into the belly, because we're pushing the belly towards that thigh. So it's like a massage without someone else having to do it for you. Wonderful. Right, let's release the arms, unravel these legs and take them back, heels upwards. Straighten the legs again. And take the legs out to either side. So the block is handy, it's less pressure through the lower back and you can work a little bit deeper through the hips. Okay, so this time the legs come in, the right leg's going to come in front of the right. And you're going to do a wrap around as tight as you can. And then again, we're going to draw these knees however you can get to them, maybe behind the thighs, and draw them into your upper body. And again, come into that massage in your belly. So unravel the legs. This time when we straighten the legs, toes to the ceiling. Stretch out through the front of those ankles. Release, and then let's circle into the ankles while we're here, just slowly. And a few in the other direction. Now bring the heels to the bottom, and you're going to tap into the bottom with your heels and let the feet just flip-flop around. All right, bring those feet back down to the floor and let's get rid of that block. Just a few half bridges before we come up. Maybe need to move down a little bit. So the heels in towards your bottom, hip width apart, knees upwards, arms down beside the body. Arms or no arms, just see how your shoulders are feeling. So in breath, the hips pop up as the belly button goes into the floor. Take the arms over the head, peel that spine off the floor. Take it steady because we've been up on that block. And then on the out breath, gradually bring that spine back down. Let's go up once more before we do any work through the legs. Okay, so the next time we come up, we're going to stay. So decide whether you want your arms above the head or not. And we're going to anchor in with this right leg. So feel strong through the right leg. Bring the left leg straight up. And then we're going to tuck that knee in towards your upper body and hold. So we need to feel strong through this right leg. Now we're going to take both thighs parallel. This left leg's going to straighten out, point the toes. And you can look, you can just check in to make sure everything's okay. Tuck the knee back in. And keep the hips nice and high. Bring the foot to the floor. And on your next out breath, come all the way down. All right, other side. In breath coming up. Anchoring with that left leg. Right leg all the way up. Bring the knee in towards your upper body. Keep the hips nice and high. Straighten that leg out. Thighs parallel. Tuck that knee in again. Keep the hips high. Foot to the floor. And come down on an out breath. Well done. Okay, so about 5 or 6 back rolls. Come up to sitting, legs cross. Okay, so the last one, you're going to hold on to the big toes, cross the legs and come up. Get yourself going. Make this look like yours. Just tap the toes to down the floor. It's fine. It's all about the momentum in the legs. Lovely. Just go where you can go. And I'll see you seated. Marvelous. So come into a comfortable seated position. I'd like to do our wake up. So underneath the collarbones. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Too much time with that, up and down the sternum. Under the arms. All around the eyes. Shake it off. Right, one hand opposite shoulder, squeeze the shoulder, smooth off the other hip and flick. Same on the other side, squeeze, smooth and flick. In your own time. But give the shoulder muscles a good squeeze, especially if they've been stiff. That'll help to loosen them up. Get the blood moving through them. There we go, one more. Brilliant. Hands in front of the pubic bone, have your word or sentence. Anything positive you'd like to bring in, so on your in-breath. And out breath. Your in-breath. One more. One finger in the belly button, other one third eye, push in, hook up for your hook up. Final one. Brilliant. Shake off the hands. All right, still working a little bit through the hips in a seated position. Let's bring the legs out so they're nice and wide. The toes are going to tuck in. And we're going to twist through our spine, so it's a moving pose. So interlace the fingers, long spine. Going to twist to your left, take your knuckles away from you, and a big half circle. Draw that round until you come up. Twist on the other side, tuck the chin, lean back as the hands come across the belly. And then off you go again. I'd like you to count through 5. Now, when you've finished your 5, switch your fingers. So one set up, one set down. Lovely, long spine. Other direction then. Twist to your right. All the way around. Twist to the other side, lean back, tuck the chin. And around. Count yourself 5. And when you're finished, just a long spine for a moment. And then we'll lean back and we'll shake those legs out while they're right. All right, let's swing around onto all fours. Knees hip width apart. We're going to shoot the right arm forward, bring the left arm across your mat, forehead onto the arm, then carry on taking the right arm forward till you've got that armpit stretch. You rock the front of your body in towards the earth. Let's think earth, getting as deep as the earth, tailbone towards the sky. Breathe in and out of your stretch. Breathe in and out of the resistance. Let's switch over. So draw the right hand in, coming up, and then take that left arm across. And down we go. Keep stretching. Tailbone to the sky, front of your body towards the earth. Just connect. All right, come back up. I'd like a child's pose from here to really relax those shoulders. So have the arms in a very soft position. Maybe grab your block under your forehead. But I want you to feel as though the shoulders are really melting towards the earth. Check in with that jaw once more. That hasn't tightened itself up again. On the out breath, release them all. Wonderful. Push yourselves back up onto all fours, downward facing dog, tuck the toes. Work through these legs, one heel to the floor and then the other. Done a lot of work through the legs, so they should feel okay. Now I'd like you to walk yourselves to the front of your mat, straight legs as much as possible, just like a waddle. You need to come up onto the fingertips. Feet hip width apart. End up in a half forward bend, so tuck the belly as you lift the chest, hands up the back of the legs. Bend the knees on in-breath, lift the chest, arms out to the side all the way up as you come all the way up. And hands come down to the heart. So we're going to do a balance. One for the hips again. We're going to do the dancer, and we're also going to incorporate the lion breath, where we stick the tongue out and look towards our third eye. All right, so there's lots going on. So with these feet hip width apart, first of all, we'll do an easier balance, and that will just get us ready. So bring the hands to the heart. On your next out breath, sit back in your chair. So tuck the belly, just sit back a bit. Next in breath onto the toes, come up for a balance. So you're looking for a focus. Out breath, come back down into your chair. Keep both knees facing forward. And then the in breath will come up. So I want you to do a few of those, working with your breath. Just so we can body used to a balance. One more stretch. And then bring the feet to the floor. So I'm going to stay sideways on. And we'll start on the left side of the body. So take hold of the foot, wherever you can get to. If you can get the thumb into that kidney 1 point, give that a go. The other arm gently comes above the head. And you're going to tip like a set of scales. So you're going to take this left knee backwards, in line with your hip. Push the foot into the hand. Keep the chest elevated. But I suggest don't go to your max in this, because we're now going to challenge the body by this lion breath. So we're going to do 3. So I'll start us off and then do the other 2 with your own breath. So taking a breath in. Ooh. I'll keep going. So hold the pose at the end of the breaths, those lion breaths, and then maybe you can go in a little bit deeper now. You can feel more steady. Okay, gently bring yourself out. You can stay where you are. I'm going to turn around, bring your hands back to the heart, find your focus. That right leg. Give me 1 point if you can find that. Remember, you can always use your strap around your pad of your foot or your ankle, whatever feels more comfortable. Bring the other arm up. And then just like a set of scales, balance yourself out. You push into the palm of the hand, the shoulder opens up. Let's feel steady first before we start. Take a breath in. And go a bit deeper once you're finished, only if you wish. And gently bring yourself out. Lovely, that's quite a deep one now. So heel toe your feet out, toes out, heels in. And we're just going to come into a figure of 8 with our hips, so dangling the arms and just freeing off from that balance. And just start to make this figure of 8s as big as you can. Keep the shoulders as soft as you can, the arms as relaxed as you can. And then just maybe the arms will go into a figure of 8 as well. Who knows? Maybe. And make them as big as you can. Really enjoy feeling sort of loose and free with them. And then start to make them a bit more subtle. Just before you stop, shift in the other direction. Just slowly, gently start to build them up. And then once you're in the zone, maybe the arms will start to go as well. Celtic weaves deep into the pelvis. And just go for it, basically. And coming to a gentle stop. Stay here, dangle the arms, close the eyes, just see if there's any sensations in the body from the figure of 8s. We don't always stop and notice those, do we? Okay, so heel toe the feet until the hip width apart. We're going to do the fire element. So the sound is and we're going to work down the chakras. So on the in breath, you're calling in joy. And on the out breath, you're releasing any anxiety. And we don't need to sort of look into it specifically, but you can just use the words. Okay, so start with the hands at the heart. On the in breath, bring in the joy. Thumbs to the crown. Let go of the anxiety. Draw in the joy. Third eye. In breath. And the heart. In breath. And the belly button. Palms over the belly, first fingers meeting. 3 breaths here. Last out breath, smooth down the legs. Come off the toes. Come up via your spleen outside the big toes, ankle, lower legs to the knees, up the center, and rounding at the shoulders under the spleen. And finishing off there. Marvelous work. Okay. Last one to feel into the energy, connecting heaven and earth, so you can keep the feet where they are. We talked about connecting to the sky and the earth when we're on the floor. Let's do that again now. So we're going to bring the thumbs into the heart, the first fingers into the base of the throat, into that hollow, elbows come up. That's where we're going to come back to on the out breath. So on your in breath, one palm up, one palm down, look up if you wish. Feel that connection with the hands. And on the out breath, you're just going to pass this point momentarily. And on the in breath, you're going to come to the other side. So I really want you to be fully in this moment, feeling any sensations through the hands, because we've been doing this for a while now, and your mind can really focus on the hands. So see if you can feel anything. Don't just do it, really sort of like tune yourself in. So feel that in breath actually drawing in energy through the palms of the hands. So when I'm doing my Reiki, the energy comes in through the crown of my head. And on the out breath, it goes out through my fingers, out through the palms of my hands. So I just draw it in a different area. Make this your last one. Keep the thumbs and the fingers in the space, elbows up, close the eyes. Really feel as though you are connected to that energy all around. That's where we can go when we need a little bit more. Okay, so open those eyes. Just cross the hands at the heart. I'm going to have to come to the front of my mat. You may already be there. I'm going to take my left leg back so that my hips come across the front of my mat. You decide which leg you're going to move. So on your in breath, bring that knee up. Out breath, big step. Straighten both legs into your triangle legs. So you're shifting the hips. Back toes are slightly in. I'm going to bring my foot back a little bit so that my heel is in line with my instep. I must have stepped not quite in the right place. Right, so on your in-breath, take the arms up and out. Lift over the front hips down, slide down our wall. Don't go all the way down. As soon as you get to the shin, bring your thumb on the inside of that shin and massage down. Just massage down. Wherever you get to is a good place to stop, or if further up you felt something, oh yeah, I'm going to stop there today. Something's drawn my attention there, so I'm not going to go any lower, because that's obviously where I need to be. So these top fingers, let's flick all of those once while we're here, and all of them together twice. And then just come back to our triangle. Massage that thumb if that feels tender. That really feels tender there today. All right, now let's Celtic weave this top arm down. We're going to turn the hips to the front of our mat. So we're going to turn into like a forward bend. Bring the hands behind the back and interlace the fingers. On an in-breath, we're going to lift the chest to get the air in, and on the out-breath, we're going to come all the way down and bring the arms over the head. Careful with that back leg, especially the knee. If that doesn't feel right, then tuck the toes in towards the front of your mat a little bit more. Let's in-breath, bring yourself all the way up. Once you come up, release the arms out to the side. Breathe normally as you heel toe around to triangle on the other side. Checking with those feet, in-breath here. Lift over the ribs, slide down your wall. As soon as you get to the shin, stick the thumb in and massage down. Maybe a completely different place on this side. Yeah, there is. There it is. And then when you feel it's tender, just stop and give that a little bit of help. It's just energy that's got sort of stuck there. And we can free that up. And these top fingers, let's give those each a flick. And then all of them together twice. Lovely. Tune in with that bottom thumb again. Yes, I can feel that. And we'll top this top arm will Celtic Weave down. And carefully we're going to turn towards what will be the back of your mat. Interlace the fingers behind, in-breath, lift the chest, just so we can feel as we're in the right space. And on the out-breath, bring the arms over the head. Doesn't matter how far they come. You're going to work into the shoulders, whatever. Let's in-breath, push through the feet, come all the way up. Bring the arms up to shoulder height again. We're going to heel toe towards the front end of our mat. And end up in a downward facing dog. So we're going to swing these arms around, bend that front knee, bring ourselves down. Lovely. Come onto the knees. For another child's pose, this time choosing your arm position. Taking your breath into the back. Relax those shoulders. Relaxing the jaw once again, just check in. No clenching of those teeth. Returning to all fours, we're going to swing these legs around. Spleen triple warmer, and we're going to come down. Tuck in those bandhas, slowly coming down. If you wish, you can grab your block under your tailbone and come into a full stretch. Be aware of the space in the body. Be aware of that lovely soft jaw now. Bring the arms back over the head. And make any other movement you wish to make, and then find yourself in Shavasana. So on your back, space between the heels, arms away from your body, palms facing up. Maybe turn that neck from side to side again. Just checking that it's nice and mobile now. After all the work and effort that you've put in. Lovely. And maybe sort of roll the shoulders back and feel the shoulder blades properly on your mat. And then turn your thumbs outwards so that they touch the floor, and feel the inside of the arms have a bit of a stretch right up into the shoulders opening up. And then releasing. And now relaxing, letting go. Again, feel your connection with the energy all around. Underneath you towards the earth, and above you towards the sky. So we're going to stay focused on this fire element. We're going to focus on the space between the navel and our solar plexus at our ribs. This is our third chakra, our Manipura. It's located. And I invite you to breathe into this space. Sort of feel as though the whole of that area is filling up with air. And then slowly releasing it. And do this 2 more times. Feel yourself connecting with this energy center. This third energy center is said to be where the sun's light enters and then spreads throughout our entire system. This chakra's element is fire and is associated with the fire in our belly. Our inner fire rests in this space. Manipura Chakra is all about understanding our personal power and transforming it into something proactive. Being self-disciplined and confident, and knowing the power and freedom we have in taking control of our lives. So visualize now at this chakra, you've got a big yellow sun. And there's long, long rays extending across your body. Imagine this golden light spreading throughout your body and illuminating you, so that you too begin to shine like a brilliant sun. Now there's a mantra associated with this chakra, and the sound is Ram, R-A-M. And 3 times as the breath leaves the body, just to yourself, say Ram. Now imagine this light, nourished by the sun, begin to become greater with each inhale. And rise up towards the crown with each exhale. So becoming greater with each inhale and rise up towards your crown with each exhale. Feeling connected as one with the light. Remember that the light is inside of you and you are the light. You have the power of light. So continue to raise that energy up towards your crown. And then send that light up and out the top of your head. Imagine the light bursting through your crown, sending glorious waves of light up towards the sun. Now be once more aware of the light that surrounds you and is inside of you. Take a moment to focus on the abundance of energy and light. How it is all a circle, and how the light you receive, you give, and then it returns back to you. Take in the sun before you, and the sun that rests inside you. Give thanks always to the sun. So staying with the power of the light inside you, and your focus back into your space, to your body. Begin to breathe a bit longer, bring movement into the arms and the legs. And movement into the rest of the body. And bending your knees, running over to your right side, hands under the head for a pillow. Remembering the power and the sun. Pushing up to seated, hands at the heart. Namaste. And opening your eyes when you're ready.